Hello everyone, my name is Ipon and welcome back to School of Dragons. Today we are continuing with the All of My Dragons video series, and today I will be covering the Tracker class and the Sharp class. I apologize that this video is coming so late after the first one, but it did take quite a long to make, and hopefully the third and final part will be up sooner. So without any further ado, let's go. My very first Tracker class dragon is my Deadly Nether Bright Eyes. Bright Eyes is a lively female. She is named Bright Eyes because her eyes at night, they almost have a glow, which is very special, which is why I named her that. She is always so full of energy. She loves to go outside and play, and even though I don't ride her as much as I would like to ride her, we still go out every now and then and we play around, we fly, and her favorite thing to do is just dive bomb out of the sky to the ground and then swoop up like some sort of an eagle, and she is basically just a very playful little girl. Then we have my second Deadly Nether. This is Liza. Liza is the complete opposite of Bright Eyes. Even though she is a Deadly Nether, she is not exactly a lively dragon. She is very serious and she doesn't really like to play. She mostly just likes to fly around, and if there is something big happening like a large fight or there is a gathering with a lot of noise and something, she just likes to avoid that because she is not exactly a fun type. She mostly just prefers solitude, and she is not exactly the dragon that you would find in the middle of a group. My third Tracker class dragon is my Mudraker Braveheart. Braveheart is a male dragon, and just as his name suggests, he is incredibly brave and incredibly loyal. I actually did not buy him as an egg. I saved him from dragon hunters, which is why he is so loyal to me, and maybe that experience has made him so brave. I really don't know, but it's like he isn't afraid of anything ever, which sometimes worries me that he'll get into some sort of trouble. But no, he never gets into trouble. He is just a very brave dragon, and I love him for that, and I care for him a lot. He is actually one of my closest dragons because I've had him for a really long time, and if something happened to him I would be really upset because he is very important to me. My fourth and actually very last Tracker class dragon is my Rumblehorn Thor. Thor is named after, of course, the god of thunder Thor from Norse mythology, and also the Thor from Marvel movies and the MCU. I honestly really love Thor. He is not the liveliest dragon. He does like to lie around and kind of relax, but once I do get him out of the stable, he is very pleasant to work with. We do have a pretty good bond, if I say so myself. He is kind, but he can also stand up for himself. He never gets pushed around, and even though he can sometimes come off as a bit arrogant or maybe even rude, he does know how to get what he wants, although he doesn't hurt anyone, and he is just simply a very pleasant dragon to be around, and I am very proud of him. Now let's move from the Tracker class to the Sharp class. My very first Sharp class dragon is my Devilish Dervish Jackie Boy Fangirl. Now I named this dragon Jackie Boy Fangirl because I bought her around the same time I started watching Jacksepticeye on YouTube, and I thought his videos were hilarious, and don't get me wrong, some of them still are to this day, and I simply wanted to name a dragon after him. And so this green-blue Devilish dervish came along. She is actually a very lively dragon. She is full of energy, which is why the name suits her even better. She often goes around for flights without me and then just simply returns to the stable and then wants to go on flights with me. So she is always very energetic and she's always very positive about practically everything, and she is just simply the sort of dragon that you can very rarely find in a bad mood or to be kind of having a bad day, and she's mostly just overly happy and positive, and I really love her for that. My second sharp class dragon is my Raincutter Wonderwing. Wonderwing is named after the heroine Wonder Woman from DC Comics, and just like Wonder Woman, she is very strong and independent. She can sometimes be a bit nosy, but that doesn't happen too often, so I don't ever get any complaints about her. And basically, she is just a very kind, good-hearted dragon. My third sharp class dragon is my Razor Whip Lady. Lady is the third dragon that represents one of the 6 direwolves from Game of Thrones, and she represents Lady Sansa's direwolf. Just like Lady, she is very kind and gentle, even though she is a razor whip, a dragon that is incredibly dangerous and can be used as a true war machine. But she is very kind and gentle, and she actually likes to stay away from any sort of fights or simply any conflict, and she just prefers to be with me or with some of the other dragons that she is friendly with, such as for example Summer and Nymeria, because those are her best friends. My fourth sharp class dragon is another razor whip. This is Circe, my Titan razor whip. Circe is named after one of the characters from Game of Thrones. She is just like Circe, she is very power hungry, which is why I often have to remind her that she is not in charge of everyone. She does like to boss other dragons around, which I am not happy with, and I often have to bring her back down to earth and tell her that she is not like the queen of all dragons, but that she is just another dragon in the pack, and she is basically just a lot of work. Then we have my third razor whip. This is Spirit. He is named after Spirit, stallion of the Cimarron, the horse from the 2002 Dreamworks animated film. And even though he is also a Titan dragon, he is completely different from Circe. He is wild and kind of untamed, but he is loyal, kind, and he practically never gets into a fight unless there is something that he really has to fight for. He is not a lazy dragon or a power-hungry dragon. He is simply a dragon that enjoys to be wild and free and just enjoys peace for himself and for everyone else. But if peace is not an option, then he is not afraid to fight for what is right. And I am very proud of him. My sixth sharp class dragon is my Timberjack Daenerys. Daenerys is also named after one of the characters from Game of Thrones, and she has such a personality. Her personality range is so wide, and I am so proud of her because while she was still a small hatchling, I was very afraid that she wouldn't make it, but she did, and she is now big and strong, and I am incredibly proud of this beautiful dragon. My seventh sharp class dragon is my Shivertooth Sansa. Sansa is also one character from Game of Thrones. She is a very shy dragon. She does not like being the center of attention, and she is kind of an introvert because she only hangs around with Lady, and she is not exactly a fan of big crowds or gatherings. My 8th sharp class dragon is my prickle boggle Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is a crazy dragon. She is literally just crazy, and sometimes she can be calm in 1 second and then doing loopings through the air in the next one. She is very difficult to train and work with, but not because she doesn't want to, it's just because there are some things going on inside her head that make it so difficult to kind of control her or even communicate with her, and she is just simply completely out of my hands. I try to help her as much as I can, but you can't always help a crazy dragon and you just have to deal with it. And even though I did my best to train her, she still can be completely lost in her own world, and I feel really bad for her because she doesn't really deserve that. My 9th sharp class dragon is my Stormcutter Sunchaser. Sunchaser is probably one of my most beautiful dragons that I have, and probably one of the most beautiful dragons that I have ever seen in my entire life. Her scales are in various shades of golden, yellow and brown, and her favorite place is the lookout at the original caldera because she just loves to bask in the sunlight and enjoy her beautiful looks in the setting sun. I train her really well. She is a very kind dragon and compassionate. She does like to hang out with other dragons. She is not an introverted dragon, and she is in overall a very kind and nice dragon. Then we have my other Stormcutter, Rain. Rain is Spirit's best friend and mate, named after, of course, Rain the mare from Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron movie. She is a wild spirit, a very affectionate dragon, but she is also very gentle and loving and caring, and a true motherly dragon. She is practically unable of being mean or aggressive, and she really likes to spend time with Spirit and basically only with him. I am proud of the bond we share, although she is more fond of dragons than she is of humans. My 11th sharp class dragon is my Spin Stinger Toriel. Toriel is named after the she-elf Toriel from the Hobbit movies, and she is a very wild and independent dragon. She is mostly a wild dragon and prefers to be somewhere off running and just simply speeding over the ground rather than locked up in a stable. I respect that, which is why I often let her out, and I simply tell her to be careful and come back once she is tired, and she always does. She practically never gets in a fight, probably because she can run away before she starts one, and she is mostly a very outgoing wild she-dragon. Next up we have my Scuttleclaw Blue. Blue is the 3rd dragon who represents one of the 4 raptors from Jurassic World, and Blue is the alpha of this small pack. She is the most intelligent one out of the pack, and probably the most curious one and the easiest one to work with. She is a very social dragon, and she is also very outgoing, but as much as she likes to spend time with other dragons, she also likes to be alone sometimes and just kinda experience the wild. My 13th sharp class dragon is my 2nd Scuttleclaw, Suki. Suki is Japanese for moon, and I just thought that name was really cute for this Scuttleclaw. Suki is a very lively and playful dragon. She loves to play around. She is personality-like, very similar to a Deadly Nadder, and she just loves night flights, which is why I often take her out at night. She is basically a child at heart, and she kind of refuses to grow up, even though she is already a few years old, and she is definitely older than some of my dragons, and she is supposed to be responsible, but no, she would much rather just simply fly around and play and forget about any worries. My 14th and last sharp class dragon is my Grimnasher Hela. Hela is actually Thor's sister, and I know that seems crazy since they are different species, but she is his sister. She is named after Hela, the goddess of death in Norse mythology, and again, of course, after Hela from the Marvel movies. She is not an actual goddess of death, but she is very aggressive, and she is practically never in a good mood. She will pick a fight with practically anything as long as she can fight with something, which is why I often bring her somewhere where aren't many dragons, so she can't really cause any trouble. She is mostly a loner, and it is probably for the best, because if she wouldn't be a loner, she would just simply be around fighting and killing other dragons, which would really not be good. And I always try and teach her that she cannot just simply attack anything she feels like, but it's not exactly easy, and she is not always the one to cooperate. I feel sorry about that, because Grimnashers are very interesting dragons to train and study, but since that is how she is, I cannot really help her. So those were all of my tracker class and sharp class dragons, which means that we have come to the end of today's video. Next time I will be covering the tidal class, the mystery class, and of course the strike class. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, feel free to let me know by liking this video and subscribing to my channel, because it really helps me out and it really means a lot. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next time. So long!